Alright, we got I Will Dominate on Olaf, and we are doing another matchup. The matchup is jungle. It is Olaf versus Yi. Olaf has a lot of gank potential, a lot of damage, can blow up carries late game. The slows with his axes really help. His true damage is pretty awesome. So that's what you're bringing to the table on Olaf. Yi has his farming, and he brings a lot of damage and has some chase. I'd say overall Olaf's probably the stronger champion right now. Not everyone's going to agree with that, but I think most will. And Olaf's just an excellent jungler. He starts blue buff, goes wolves blue, wraiths, and then heads off to the red buff, and he has Hunter's Machete, 5 pots. So gets his red buff, immediately goes off to pull a gank. Yi at this point would have a hard time ganking. This is kind of where Olaf's stronger. He's strong right now. He's not just strong at level 6 like Master Yi will get. So, unfortunately for TF, he pulls the red card, not a gold card, because he was pushing the lane, didn't really see the gank coming. So he makes him flash. So as soon as he flashes, he walks around and comes right back. And he comes back from an angle that's going to make it hard for Twisted Fate to do much. So he dodges that axe, but gets rune prisoned, and now with no flash, first blood goes to Olaf. And then he leaves the farm for his rise, especially when you take the kill, then you might not want to tax as hard as far as farm goes. If you leave the kill, you might want to take a little bit of the farm, so get a little bit of extra gold and experience, get yourself farther ahead. So he's just clearing. Olaf just clears extremely fast. He's one of the fastest clearers in the game. So just gonna head back to base and buy. With the first blood, you might as well, so you can snowball harder. Your ganks will be stronger. Your clear will be faster. You get around the map. Philosopher's Stone is going to get him the ability to get the GP10 and build in Australia's Revelry. A really strong item because your ghost is not up every time your ult is, and the combination of the speed boost plus your ult is kind of what makes Olaf extremely strong. So Australia's Revelry gives CDR and it builds that. So you go Philostone first, you get all that sustain, you get all the GP10 clicking away until you do the Australia's Revelry. And boots, obviously, to get you around the map faster. And the other thing Philostone does is you don't need potions quite as much, especially since Olaf clears faster when he's lower. It's pretty much enough to have the Philostone. So here he's going to go for a gank on Caitlyn. And he gets here right as Caitlyn's disengaging, and she flashes the axe. That was the proper timing. She'd already used her 40 caliber net, so she basically only had flash if she wanted to dodge that. If that would have landed, they would have had a kill. So that was flash or die for Caitlyn right there. So at least he made him burn flash, and you'll see how quickly that will pay dividends. Where Caitlyn's gonna die, and if she had flash, she wouldn't have died. So here's just kind of knowing your timers, what you can't do. He goes ahead, gets the golems, and the lower he gets, the more he clears quickly. So instead of basing when you're kind of low like this, you'll want to go jungle clear really quick. You can't really gank, but your ability to clear camps is crazy like this. Your W is going to kick in, you're going to do a lot of AD, and you're going to do a lot of attack speed. And it's based off missing health. So he actually goes up in life clearing the camps without potions. And then base, because he's got nothing to clear, and you don't really want to gank at super low life. You just want to be clearing. Kind of as a rule, you don't really want to go run into a TF stun when you have no life to deal with TF. Picks up a cloth armor that can build into a lot of things. You could go frozen heart. You can just cloth has a lot of options right now, so always a good pickup. Kills Ninja Tabi completely. Gotcha. So Ninja Tabi was his next item. So that's going to make him take a lot less damage from auto attackers such as Master Yi. If he runs into him, Caitlyn and Nidalee attacks will do less. He do have some burst with the cards and stuff from TF. He decides to take the blue and not donate it to Rise. Rise does have going for Catalyst and Tear, so it's not the worst thing. And it keeps him going ahead. So he's level 6. His top lane Jace is 6. The other team's TF is 6. It's just the people winning their lanes, Rise and Nidalee, that are 7s. And he's right with them. So that means he can duel about everybody. With his ultimate up, he could probably duel everyone. Nidalee could probably get away from him, disengage. That's just what Nidalee does. So here you need to get as much clearing and experience as you can be getting. And if you reposition on your axis, then you don't really have to ever use any auto attacks on the little minions. And with blue buff, he can just stay out because he just has infinite mana, but basically for now at least, until it wears off. That's just Rise saying he can't see Twisted Fate, so telling everyone to care. When Twisted Fate has ult, that's a good idea to ping that like crazy and get your team's attention. You might want to tell them what you're doing, but most people should catch on. That's what you're saying. So he takes the long way around in case Nidalee has a ward by Baron. You wouldn't see this if the other jungle entrance is warded. You can get in behind it. If you don't step on a trap in that tri-brush, as Nidalee, you want to keep that trap and just misses the Q onto Nidalee. That would have helped. They might have been able to dive it had he landed that. But Nidalee's really hard to land skill shots on, so it's not necessarily misplayed. And I do happen to know that they have that river warded because it's a spectator thing. So he's going in there trying to make life difficult for Yi. You don't always have to do something amazing like a steal of something to make life more difficult. There is just running through the lane and get some harass down onto Twisted Fate. So it helps. Every little bit helps. It did a decent chunk off Twisted Fate. And Rise was already doing well in that lane, so it's just that much more. Double buff's going to wear soon, so you kind of want to gank while you have it. At least he's full mana. He wouldn't have seen that ward, even though it showed on this. So he's going to go for the gank here, but Nunu goes down before he gets there, and an excellent play by Ezreal here picks up the double kill. No assist, but he's now there to help do a lot of damage to the tower. Or you could turn around and go for a dragon, except for that they don't really have wards, so that's kind of risky. Even though they just killed both bottom laners, without wards, Yi could possibly come steal it, and his smite's not up. So he goes for the dive on Yi and repositions, but with a Twisted Fate in the game, that's not necessarily a great idea. And he doesn't clear the tower aggro, he would have at least got the kill here. And something to say good about that, when Twisted Fate warped in, he could have given a carry like Twisted Fate another kill, or an assist, or he could have just died to the tower. He wasn't going to get away, so he just goes ahead and dies, tries to finish Yi, doesn't quite get him, but it's better to go for that than it is just to give the assist. You don't want to give that assist out, so he did save the other team from getting some money by just staying there dying. So something to consider is if you're cut off and there's no escape, if you can have the less people that get an assist on you, the better. So sometimes running into the tower and dying quickly is a good thing. So again, just clearing, looking for something to do. Come and see how quickly they respawn. They have it warded, even though no one told them it was warded or they didn't tell you you're coming. If they respawn like that as you're coming, you can kind of scare them off without actually having to do too much. So he went for this gank, but Yi's in position. It would have just been a 2v2. They could probably win it, but not if they dive. Need some element of surprise here. So at least he's putting pressure on, and Yi can't get a gank off on Rise, who has no wards there. So in some aspects, even though he got seen, he also saw Yi, so that helps to put the pressure off Rise for a second. Blue buff's back up, but he's going to go straight up for top in case Jace needs the help, and see if they can get a kill on Nid, or pressure Nid, or force Nid back, give Jace some kind of advantage. But Nidalee responds really well, so we can tell it's warded. You can kind of just look at their reaction to you to see if it's warded. If you're going to buy the Baron pit and they're responding well, it's warded. So he wants to get the blue buff over to Rise, so he helps push the lane so that they can easily transfer the blue without the lane getting pushed on them. If you just go back immediately, it kind of clues them in what you're doing. So here he's going to go up towards top, but nothing happening, so time for blue. Rise has been back and forth a little bit. It kind of just, if you do stuff like that, it can kind of show not tip your hat as bad. And that's him pinging, telling Rise to come over, take the blue if he wants it. That would be a good time to come. So he's there right as the wolves spawn. If you can gank and learn your timers down in the jungle really well, you can do stuff like that, is get there right as they're spawning and not waste any time, but also not let them be up for very long. That's more potential gold for you if you're always getting there as they're spawning. If they sit there for a minute, then you could have cleared it and they'd be up again. So unfortunately he couldn't save Jace, but he is going to be able to pick up the whole wave of experience and gold. It's better than it going to waste. Just always consider that whenever your team something happens, you need to respond. You need to be very, very responsive. So let your team know anything you see and anything going on, and then always be trying to create any advantage for yourself, for your team, like taking their camps, their buffs, dragons, responding to ganks, responding to your team out of position, or them getting caught in your jungle. You just got to be all over the map and just be aware. So red buff's up, you want to be clearing that pretty soon. Dragon's up and they have a pink ward on it, so it means they don't have vision. The other team doesn't have vision, so since bottom tower's gone and they're pushed up really far, you could pretty much, if they don't have vision, take a free dragon. But with smite down, it's pretty risky anyways. So we'll see when they do it. And here there's a fight going on up in the middle of the river as he backed. They were able to go kill Twisted Fate, but the enemy team was in position, so they're going to try to turn it on them. And then Olaf shows up and kind of ends the laning phase. If everyone's group mid and you go get the mid tower, the laning phase is pretty much over. There's bottom lanes over, top lanes. Nidalee's pretty much winning, so she'll probably get the tower. The right thing for Nidalee to do here would be to go get the other tower. So that was it for this game. Hope you learned something. Take care.